After 50 years of professional bass fishing, Rick Clunn is calling it a career. He's going to go down as the greatest of all time. And before all of you Kevin Van Dam stans get in the comments, let me tell you why. Before we recap the incredible career that Rick Clunn has had, let's first go back to 2019 on the St. Johns River, where Rick Clunn beat his very own record for the oldest angler ever to win a Bassmaster Elite Series event by weighing in a pair of 9-pound largemouth bass. Look at this.
Bass fishing, maybe with no equal. Rick Clunn, defending his title, comes out and just through the course of this tournament keeps himself in the conversation, and then the final day comes along. It's a great story.
The pressure of being able to be a defending champion going into an event, to start the season off totally different than the lake or river that you won on before, for him to be able to do that and do it his way, that was the coolest thing. Was, hey, he stayed away from a lot of people, he used a lot of baits people weren't throwing, and he fished a lot of areas that maybe we're getting overlooked. To see Rick Clunn do his own thing, that just kind of sums up his whole career of doing it his way.
8th on the final day and catches the biggest limit of all the tournament, all days, 34 pounds and 14 ounces, including 2 9-pounders. Had to have them to win that tournament.
It really shows us that there are no limits, and when you can never count anyone out in bass fishing. We say that all the time, like, oh, is 3rd too far back? Is 4th too far back to come back? Especially with how Chris Johnston and the rest of the field, Patrick Walters, Mark Menendez, how they were catching them. Are these positions too far back?
3 years earlier on the exact same fishery, Rick Clunn held the trophy above his head, got on the microphone and gave us what is quite possibly the most profound quote in the history of bass fishing.
Don't ever accept that all your best moments are in the past. Okay?
Yeah. The words are profound and the accolades are many. Here's a selection of some of the highlights of this incredible career. 1976, 77, 1984, and 1990 Bassmasters Classic champion. He fished 32 total classics. 28 of those he qualified for consecutively. He was the 1985 Redman All-American champion, the 83 and 1986 U.S. Open champion. He has 15 BASS national championship wins. He was the FLW champion on Ross Barnett in 1997, the FLW champion on Beaver Lake in 2000, the FLW champion on Pickwick in 2000, the 2001 BASS Megabucks champion. He is the all-time leading money winner in FLW Tour with over $700,000. He was inducted into the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame in 2001. He was inducted into the Freshwater Fishing Hall of Fame in 2001. The 2002 BASS Central Open Sam Rayburn champion. ESPN's greatest angler in 2005. He has won more than $3.25 million in BASS tournaments. And as I mentioned before, he is the oldest angler ever to win a Bassmaster Elite Series event. Bass fishing is going to miss a great part of itself, a great part of its history, and one of its greatest ambassadors, and its greatest champion ever. Thanks, Rick.